Hello everyone, my name is Longplay. Welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to go through another episode of market update. All right, we are going to look at the difference between the some of the number between now versus 2007 and 2008. I heard a lot of people thinking about there's gonna be a big crash, big foreclosure coming up soon in next year. Now statistic data wise though gonna be a little bit different, so let's take a look of what are the difference right here. All right, so the first thing that I want to talk about, let me pull up the number on here, is that the number of sale, the number of listing, the number of new listing coming onto the market. As you see here, let me zoom in so that you can easily see. This is the new listing by month, and it is ranging from 2001 to all the way in 2020. As you see here, these top number are the total new listing of that year. So you can see right away that the curve is something like this, right? So this is the total new listing coming into the same year. As you see right now, we are in 2020 and we only have about 3 weeks left, and there's are only 93,786 new listing coming onto this year. We only have 3 weeks left, so there is very low chance that it's gonna beat the number of 98,000 for last year. So as you see, this I already talked for a long time that we don't have inventory. There's no houses for sale. There is a lack of inventory in the entire Arizona, Maricopa County in general. And as you see here, back in 2004 and 2005, these are the area that leading to the crash in 2006, 2007, and 2009. Those listings are still high. As you see, they have 110,000, 125,000, 118,000. Though the number of inventory are still super high for that period leading to the crash in 2006, 2007, and 2008, right? You see, obviously, you see here, there's a big number, big amount of listing coming in 2006, 7, and 8 because of the crash. Everybody cannot afford for the house, and therefore they have to give up the house, and the bank gonna own them, and then they have to sell them with a very good price. We're going to look at the next chart, which show the annual sale rate. Let me take another snip right here so that you can see. Okay, so this is another snip of annual sale rates, and as you see here, this is also data from 2005 until 2020. Let me zoom in a little bit bigger too. 2005 and 2020. You see here the blue column here is the normal sales. Obviously, in 2009 and 2006, we have a problem with normal sales. The amount of normal sale transaction is super low during this period. However, we have a big of orange and a light blue, and then the gray here. These are combined as the foreclosure or pre-sale, pre-foreclosure or REO short sale, right? Combined, so we have a big uh, amount of unusual sales right here, as you can see. However, though, as you see, okay, the other point that I want to point out is 2006, 2007, 2008, leading to the crash in 2009. There's not a lot of sale going on here. There's just not a lot of demand here. It's just not a lot of demand here. One of the reason we are going to go to that next, but there's just not a lot of normal sale. The number of sales is decreasing and decrease every single year. That could be a combination. Well, we're gonna go over that next as well. But if you're looking at 2020, we have a rate. We have a rate we have a great increase in the number of sales every single month, and obviously you see a dip here. We see a dip here. However, that is just because of COVID. because of COVID, there's a little bit slow down. But if you zoom in a little bit better in that area, let's see if I can move to that. Hold on. Oh, I cannot move to that. I don't know how to move. Oh, there you go. So if you see here, a little bit more difficult to see because I zoom in, but there is a little bit decrease. There's a little bit decrease because of COVID here, but then it's already back up for that reason. And there are not a lot of IO. You don't see a lot of orange, light blue, or dark gray here in this area in this period. There's just not a lot of foreclosure sale because the benefit is also during this time we have forbearance to protect those of you who cannot afford for the monthly payment. So you already see two things, right? First of all, you see that the number of sale, the number of new listing is not coming to the market very often. Let me pull that chart again. I think I already lost that, but we already see that, right? We already see that the number of listing is not very, not a lot during this time of the year, and also the number of sale is super high during this time versus the number of sale in 2006 and 2008. There's not a lot. Okay, so those are the two difference between 2005 2006 versus now, right? So if some of you who thinking that there may be a crash in 2021, the chance is very low. The chance is very low that we're gonna have the same situation. There may be a price drop, however, we're not gonna see the similar significant drop compared to 2005, 2006, 2009. Now, one of the reasons, let's look at the real reason here. The real reason is that the mortgage rate. As you see here, this is the historical mortgage rate back all the way to 2000. Let me create another snip. I think it's going to be easier. Sorry. So this is the interest rate in on the Freddie Mac website, right? They track all the interest rate back all the way to 1972. And as you see here, the start is about 5 or 7 or 8%, right? Very high. And it's reaching its max at right here about 16, 17. Okay. If we zoom in a little bit, okay, let's take another a better period here. If we zoom into from 2000, okay, 2000 to 2020. Okay, so these are the charts from 2000 to 2020. Okay, and as you see, the interest rate keep dropping and dropping and dropping. If you only looking at the blue line, that is a 30 years interest rate, and most of the people looking into that interest rate more because the more people applying for the 30 years fixed rate. So back in 2000, where we are here, the interest rate is about 8%. Right, and then leading 2001, 2005, 2008. Now this is where the crash happened. The interest rate is still very high, about 6%, 7% here. And since then, the interest rate has been continued dropping. As you follow the blue line here, continue dropping here. And right now, it is actually only about 3%. 3%. We never seen that before. We never seen this such low interest rate before. So the same people may not be qualified for a mortgage back in 2009, 10, or even 2014, because the interest rate is about 5 or 4% here. They are able to qualify for the interest rate now because they're so low, and the debt to income ratio is actually better to qualify for that. So for that reason, the demand is super high. All right, the demand is super high and the supply is super low. When that happens, it is very easy to understand that when supply is low, when demand is high, there's going to be a price increase. So for those of you who has a a homeowner now, or a home now, that's going to be a very good investment for you to sell at this time. Now, some of you may argue that, hey, Long, the same situation happened back in 2005 and 6. A lot of people want to buy the house back then. That's raising the price, right? It's not the same, because back in the day, the demand is actually different. The demand in 2005 and 6 is actually fake demand. People buying it because they want to invest. They want to take advantage of the appreciation back in the day, a fake appreciation, by the way. And back in the day, 2005 and 6, there's not a lot of good regulation in the lending mortgage industry. Therefore, a lot of people who are not even qualified for the loan are able to get the loan and get by the house, and later on they cannot afford for the payment, and then they have to give up the house. Not anymore at this time. So there's a lot of different situation. There's a lot of different data compared to now versus 2005 and 2006. So we're not going to see, at the end of the day, in the conclusion of this video, is we're not going to see a crash in 2001 similar to the one in 2009 and 8, right? The price may drop for any reason. Who knows? I don't have a crystal ball, so I cannot predict the future. But if you are expecting something similar, something strong, similar to 2008 and 2009, the data doesn't back it up. All right. Thank you so much, everyone. My name is Long Fei. Hope to see you next time. Bye bye.